I'm assuming that you got that interest from being because you used to be a paralegal, right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that career. In my YouTube channel, I'm trying to share more about careers, and hopefully people can learn a thing or two from people's experiences, how it went, um, maybe some of the struggles that you went through, or maybe some of the things that you feel like you can advise people, or maybe give them, a tip or two if they want to become that. So how'd you become into being a paralegal? What was it like? And again, maybe why you left the field, because I know you did it in different offices, right?
Yeah.
So how was that?
So originally, I did not want to be an attorney. That was not one of my dream goals or anything like that.
Oh,
It was. I had just graduated, and I was working at Quick Trip at the time.
I remember that.
Yeah, and my mom was like, I wanted to be a police officer."
Oh,
And then I looked into like the requirements and all that stuff.
you said nah.
Not for me. Those I need my sleep, guys. And the as a rookie, you usually have to do like night shift.
Oh, they give you the graveyard right away. I feel like it's like nursing too. And nursing, sometimes they just throw you in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I was like, no, that's not for me. And then I wanted to do afterwards, like I wanted to be an officer. That's what I wanted to do.
Gotcha.
But then somehow I did not really look into it afterwards. I graduated, and then my mom was like, "Well, why don't you go into like a law office and do paralegal, see if you like it, and this and that."
Gotcha.
And thank the Lord, I got an amazing attorney as like my boss for like the first job that I got as a paralegal. She taught me a lot, and she was really good at just motivating me, and then I got into like the work, the motions, because as a paralegal, you basically do everything,
You do the dirty work is what basically call it.
Yeah, like how a nurse is for a doctor, that's a paralegal for an attorney.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good analogy. Nice.
So I would do all the motions. I would collect all the evidence. I would talk with the like clients and everything. And the attorney will talk to the clients, but the paralegal does everything, guys.
Like you guys are
Yeah, we know the case.
boots on the ground.
Yes. So I really enjoyed it, talking to people, and then just a lot of them would come here and be like, "Oh yeah, well I had a previous attorney and they didn't do this and they didn't do that," and I was like, "Well, that sucks that you're not getting the communication." And then there's also, even though now there's a lot of people that are bilingual, they still don't know Spanish correctly, and I was like, "Okay, I've been translating since I was in diapers, basically."
Right.
So, it was nice to be able to communicate with them understand, like the clients understand stuff. And and the attorney too, like, I think when you have a great role model, you get into those stuff, into it really quickly. And then she left, and there really wasn't much for me to learn there. Like, I learned the basics of immigration and criminal justice there. And I moved to another attorney, and I mean, she was amazing too. She took me to court, because with the second attorney, she took me to court. I did a lot of deportation cases.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Oh man.
It was and I really enjoyed it, especially when we got people out on bond and everything. I would go over there. I mean, I fought with a district attorney too once, guys, for a case. I was on the phone with her because I had sent an associate attorney.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, no," the district attorney was like, "I can't sign it because of this." I was like, "Oh, no. I was like, I'm getting on the phone right now, and I'm getting these people like a U visa."
Yeah.
Like, because you have to have like a certification first saying like, "Oh, this person was a victim of a crime."
Right.
And I was like, "No. We're getting it." Like, they lost a baby, and they didn't want to sign that certification. So I was on the phone for like an hour fighting.
So do you feel like, from what you're just telling me, do you feel like being a paralegal, like, or even an attorney, especially immigration, do you feel like you need to have like maybe like a heavy heart, or because from what you're telling me, just thinking about, those people that you're defending or you're trying to help out, it must be heavy on your emotions, your feelings, your heart, like, regardless of what your standpoint is or your point of view on immigration is, when you see that family fighting, to stay for their family members, or their family members watching them leave, like, that's heavy on anybody. Like, you're human beings, it's like,
you have to be heartless.
well, you got that already, so That you're
No,
doing a good job already.
no, honestly, yeah, it does get very heavy. Like I think during like the Trump era, it was the toughest for everyone
Yeah,
because no one was getting bonds, everyone was getting
gotcha,
deported and everything. I think that was the toughest. Um, but you really have to be like, okay, I want to help people.
gotcha.
You know, I think that's what has to be in your heart. Like
Yeah,
you want to help people, and for me, I always thought like there was no one there to help my mom, and especially with her case and
back in the
everything.
day,
Mm-hmm.
right?
So I was like, I want to be the person that someone can come to me and be like, I really need your help. And I'm like, okay, as long as we can say we did absolutely everything, we fought
Yeah.
like, with everything we got. And unfortunately, didn't the case didn't happen or we failed in the case and everything. But as long as it was in paper and it said
Yeah.
we did everything, I was happy, because we gave it our all.
So what I'm hearing is you at least want somebody to have a fair fight, like at least
Mm-hmm.
fight for them and try for them,
Yeah.
as it should, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the court of law. Like, and I think we all want that to a certain extent in anything we do, right? We want somebody, or especially if you're paying them, to try the best they can in their situation. Again, regardless of whatever your point of view is, and I think that's pretty cool. So that's what got your interest into becoming more, and even an interest in becoming an attorney.
Yeah. I do agree. Like, on my first job, like I had that attorney, like I told you, like she was just amazing,
Yeah.
And then she also had associates too, and there was an associate there that just, oh my goodness, they brought me into a room once. I'm a fighter, so
Yeah.
I like the boss brought me into a room with him, and he was like, "Oh, so what's going on? Like, what's the problem? Why can't y'all work together?" And I was like, "Because I don't want to work with someone that doesn't want to give 100% on each case."
Ooh.
I don't want to work with someone that's just here just for a paycheck. Like these are
Right.
people's lives. Like it
Gotcha.
doesn't matter what a case is.
Yeah.
Like if it's a winnable case or a case that just doesn't have enough evidence, but
You want to fight for that.
I want to fight,
I respect that.
because you never know. God, I mean, everything is possible for God, guys.
Yeah.
So,
Amen.
we're just here to fight the battles, but God is going to win the war.
Has the ultimate decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's really interesting. So for anybody that maybe it's trying to get into the field, or is interested in looking into being a paralegal, even before trying to become an attorney, you have any like tips for them, or maybe some things that you feel like they need to do, or like maybe some type of skills that you feel like they need to have?
I definitely go into internships, during the summers and stuff. Go in there to law firms. A lot of, some of them won't pay you, but the experience you get is going to be amazing. There's some
Right.
attorneys that are going to take you to the court and everything, and you'll learn if you really want to do that or not.
Gotcha.
Because I've had people that like want to do a certain career, and then when they're in the certain career they're like, oh, this is not
Yeah,
what I
that's not
want
what I
to
want
do.
to do.
So
Yeah.
that's one recommendation. I always say do internships. For anything that you want to do, just do internships. Go ahead and to try
Gotcha.
it out. And just if you want to be in like the legal, do it for the right reasons. Don't do it just because, oh, I want to get a paycheck. Because I've heard a lot of that too. Like, oh, attorneys are in good money.
Yeah, because they get more money.
But what they don't know, the attorneys that have like or get a lot of money are like the ones that work with like companies,
Gotcha.
corporations. For immigration and criminal, they usually pay for like the case, like charge for the case. They don't charge by hour or anything like that.
Oh, I see what you're
Mhm.
saying.
So
That makes sense now.
hmm
Yeah, gotcha.
so like all of them, if they're really doing that, is because they're really passionate about it.
Gotcha.
They're not doing it for the money because
Ye-
there's not much.
When I took a business class back in when I was in college getting my undergrad, I took a law class, right? But it's more in the business section. And my professor, shout out to Professor Gerlecki, by the way, in Georgia State, he brought actual lawyers so we can ask them questions, and we can ask those lawyers anything. And every week he would bring different lawyers because he was a lawyer before.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a lot of connections. So he would bring them to the classrooms. I mean, criminal, what else? Criminal, immigration,
business.
all the type of laws. Like you can name. He will bring them to the classroom, and we would ask questions. And then by asking them, like, hey, how'd you get here, or what type of cases have you dealt with? you can ask the questions to kind of find out if this is what you want to do from somebody's experience. And I thought that was invaluable. Like that was one of the best things that a professor could do for, its students. And it was amazing. So there was an attorney that said one time, he was like, look, there's, becoming a lawyer is hard. And then even finding a good law firm and finding a good job, it's hard, but there's always room for good lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that hit,
Mm-hmm.
that hit a little bit different because I was like, that makes sense. Like in the fact that he was saying that he had so many years of experience, I was like, that can go a long way for somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can also kind of filter out the people that are just like in between, like, do they want to do it? Do they not want to do it? And then I guess they can strive to be a good lawyer. So I appreciate you sharing that side of it, because I can see that you're passionate about it.
Oh,
we
I
need more
love
people. We need more people like you.
And what better way to fight, man?
Nah, that's cool. Yeah, you fighter. Hey, man, if you guys don't know, man, Stephanie's a wild one. I'm telling you, she's a fighter, but.